Candace Owens, I do not support George Floyd, and here's why. Dude. The agony begins now. Oh, she's such a dumbass. Bootlicker. True. Alright.
Hello, Facebook family. I have decided to do this video. It has been weighing very heavily on my heart and on my mind as well. And it was something that I wanted to say early on, but there were so many emotions and so much pressure for me to go with the popular opinion about who George Floyd was. And sometimes it can be difficult when there are just
But I don't know what she means by popular opinion about who George Floyd was.
so many external
She sets up the straw man here. Let's just get that settled. She sets up the straw man here.
pressures to say what you believe. And this was an instance where I felt like my silence would have been better in the beginning, but the more that I think about it, I realize that we are being sold a lot of lies, and at the detriment to the Black community, at the detriment to the white community, and at the detriment to America as a whole. So
What lies are you talking about, Candace Owens? Tell us, please.
want to come out and say that I do not support George Floyd and the media depiction of him as a martyr for Black America. I'm going to
He's literally a martyr. That's literally what he is. He was killed by a cop, a black man, as a black man. Like, just murdered. And didn't get convicted and arrested, like, right away. Right off the bat. Like, he's literally a martyr for police brutality. That's literally what he is. It's not a media depiction. That's not a media depiction. It's the truth. It's the case.
explain why, and I hope that some of you guys will understand where I'm coming from. I have spent a considerable amount of time reading a lot of Black authors that I think are some of the most brilliant Black Americans breathing. Walter Williams, Shelby Steele, Thomas Sowell. And I recently came across something that was an idea that was planted into my head by Shelby Steele, and it has been something that
Thomas Sowell is garbage, by the way. It's literally just like, his book, Basic Economics, is literally just like reframing capitalism as basic. It's literally so stupid. Like, if you want to understand capitalism, read Marx, because Marx wrote about capitalism. He didn't write about socialism. He wrote about the system we live under. It's an analysis of capitalism.
cannot forget. It is something that will stick with me for the rest of my life. And it is something that I hope for the Black Americans that are watching will stick with you for the rest of your life. Shelby Steele said that the Black community is unique from other communities. Our culture is unique from other communities because we are the only community that caters to the bottom denominator of our society. Now, let me explain what that means.
Oh, boy.
It means to say that not every Black American is a criminal, not every Black American is committing crimes, but we are unique in that we are the only people that fight and scream and demand support and justice for the people in our community that are up to no good. You would be hard.
Who the fuck is up to no good? In a situation where somebody murders a guy. What? Who's up to no good in that case? A cop murders a guy. Just kind of kills him for no extrajudicial killing, you know? No reason to kill him. Just kind of kills him right there. Who the fuck is the bad guy in that scenario? Candace Owens. Like, who's up to no good? The guy who died or the guy who killed him?
Demand support and justice for the people in our community that are up to no good. You would be hard pressed to find, a Jewish person who has spent 5 stints in prison, who commits a crime and dies while committing a crime, and that the Jewish people champion and demand justice for. You will be hard pressed to find this in white America. You'll be hard pressed to find this even in Latino America.
Yeah, the reason why you don't find this, what you're talking about, what you're trying to frame as, oh, people who are up to no good, is because those communities don't have the element of racism by the cops enforced on them so badly. And the reason why The reason fucking why is because black people, as a group in this country, are economically discriminated against to such a greater extent than anyone else that it's literally like cops kill poor people. They kill white people too, yes. They kill poor people the most. And the reason why is because poverty is what causes crime at the end of the day. More black people don't commit crimes because they're innately stupider than most people, or white people, or whatever. They commit crimes, or they commit more crimes on average. Partly, and we're going to get to this with their stat on fucking black men, partly because men commit the disproportionate amount of violent crimes anyway, for one thing, and there's more poverty in the black community than the fucking white community. Even though, yeah, poor white people do get fucking killed by the cops as well.
There's a person that is spent multiple times in prison. You are not going to see a bunch of Latinos coming out demanding justice for this person, even if, and I want to be very clear, what I'm saying is not any defense for Derek Chauvin. I hope Derek Chauvin...
But it is, though. Like, it kind of is, though. You're not... If you're attacking the victim of a murder, you're kind of defending the murderer, in a way, in my opinion. I don't know if you can just easily run away from that like that.
That he deserves to be, implemented upon him, and that the family of George Floyd deserves justice for the way that he died. But
wait, so then she says that his family deserves justice? I don't know, dude.
I also am not going to accept the narrative that this is the best the black community has to offer. For whatever reason, it has become...
I don't see anybody making that a narrative at all. I literally don't. No one cares about his character. Nobody gives a fuck about who he was in his life. We care about his death. That's the important part of this whole situation.
Fashionable over the last 5 or 6 years for us to turn criminals into heroes overnight.
What? She's just like poisoning the entire conversation by injecting his criminal history. There's no point of doing that unless you want to bolster white supremacy and racism. There literally isn't. There's literally no, why would you even say that unless you were trying to make excuses for the killing? Why? You wouldn't. There's no there's no point of adding that to the discourse at all beyond trying to justify the murder.
It is something that I find to be despicable, and it is something that I refuse to stand by any longer, and I am not going to play a part in it, no matter how much pressure comes from black liberals and black conservatives as some token of people wanting you to believe that this is the only way you can be black, is you have to say this was wrong, and that this...
What? This is the only way you can be black. Nobody says the only way that you can be black is if you say this thing. No. The only person who said that was Joe Biden. And Joe Biden is an old racist dumb fuck whose brain is melting out of his ears. Honestly, dude. I hate how conservatives will just lump shitty old fucking dumbass Democratic establishment figures in with the left and say that's the left. It's not. It's fucking liberals. It's idiots. It's old, rich, privileged idiots who say stupid shit like that. Not the fucking movement. Not the fucking popular movement of people.
This person was amazing. I won't do that. George Floyd was not an amazing person. And
nobody's arguing that he was, though.
As soon as this video hit the internet, I did just basic searches. Everyone jumped on it and was looking at the police officer, and everyone agrees that the police officer was wrong and the police officer has been arrested. So that is not, the reason I'm not discussing that is because that is not something that has been misconstrued in the media. He has been turned into the devil that he is, and there is no reason for us to harp on that any longer because white Americans are not uplifting Derek Chauvin as a victim.
Yep, we don't have to harp on the guy who killed someone. We have to harp on the guy who got killed and his morality. Yeah, totally.
We're pretending that he's an amazing human being. But George Floyd is being uplifted as an amazing human being. For those of you who have not yet seen the clips and did not pursue or wait for more clips.
Also, he's not. He actually is not being uplifted as an amazing human being. He's just literally a martyr for police brutality. Because he died by police brutality.
To come out. First and foremost, George Floyd at the time of his arrest was high on fentanyl, and he was high.
Cool, I do not give a fuck at all.
On methamphetamine.
I actually don't care.
This came back in both of his autopsy reports. If you pursue the 911 transcript, you can see the person describing somebody who is out of their mind high, and which is what made the person fearful because he tried to, use a bill that I guess was a fake bill to purchase something, and then
made me fearful. Yeah, we gotta care about the fear of the person, the cashier. And not the guy who got his fucking windpipe crushed by a knee to death on the road.
Was outside acting weird, and they, in their police call, said that this person was obviously distorted and on drugs. When he is put into handcuffs and is put against the wall.
Candace Owens looks like she's distorted on drugs from this camera angle, by the way. I'm just gonna... I have no clue why people say that she's pretty. I have no idea. I literally don't see it. I never have.
A baggie of what looks to be like cocaine.
No ad hom, right?
It's white. It's a white baggie that he drops onto the floor that you can see in an image. If you look up the clip, the media is refusing to circulate it. You can find it on Twitter if you use DuckDuckGo and look up George Floyd bag.
I don't even know who the fuck uses DuckDuckGo anymore besides you and probably Dave Rubin, Candace Owens.
You can watch the clip yourself with your own eyes. He had drugs on him at the time of his arrest. Now,
that's
barring
cool.
all of...
I literally don't give a shit. Like, are you saying that he should have been killed?
That nobody thinks that he should have died during this arrest, but what I find despicable...
Oh, you don't think that? Then why the fuck are you bringing it up?
Is that everyone is pretending that this man lived a heroic lifestyle when he did.
We're actually not, though. We're not, though.
And I want to talk about what his lifestyle was leading up to this moment and why I refuse to accept the narrative that this person is a martyr or should be lifted up in the Black community and that we should be buying t-shirts with his name on it, okay? So, here...
Oh, yeah, we totally shouldn't be buying t-shirts with the name of the fucking victim of police brutality. Because it's not like that's protesting police brutality or anything, like... We're not even, like... We're literally, like, not even a third into the video. And I already, like, just wanna just... I'm just, like... But whatever, it's good because it's easy to fucking tear to shreds.
Have first and foremost, let's start from the bottom of his record. And by the way, I am not saying that if you have a record, you don't deserve a second chance. I think people get arrested and some people can serve time in prison. And I believe in second chances, but I do draw the line when it comes to second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, and ninth chances. 1998, he spent 10 months in prison for theft with a firearm. That was...
I just want to say that, like, recidivism isn't necessarily the fucking individual blame of the person. Recidivism, meaning, like, you go to prison multiple times, is more based on, like I said, your fucking socioeconomic conditions, because that's the fucking root of crime in the first place.
First prison stint that I could find on him. In 2002, he spent 8 months in prison for a cocaine offense. In 2004, just 2 years later, he spent another 10 months in prison for a cocaine offense. In 2005, he spent another 10 months in prison for having less than 1 gram of cocaine on him again. In 2007, and this was the biggest instant that I had that made me realize this was a horrible human being that I am not going to pretend was a good person. In 2005, a woman who was pregnant.
Nobody gives a shit about his morality as a person, Candace Owens. I literally don't. All I know is that he didn't fucking deserve to be killed extrajudicially by a police officer. I know that. Like... And I'm not even for judicial killing either. I'm not even for the death penalty anyway. Like, if anybody in this entire dynamic's morality is in question, Candace Owens, black woman, talking about a martyr of racist police brutality and how we shouldn't protest against that, it's you. You are the one whose fucking morality is in question here. Maybe it's just me. Maybe that's just my opinion, but I feel like a lot of people could get behind that sentiment.
Received a knock at the door, and she went to the door, and the person pretended to be someone that worked for the water department. So she opened her door and quickly realized that the person at her door did not work for the water department and attempted to slam it. At the moment that she was attempting to slam it, a Ford pulled up and another 5 men jumped out of the car, and one of which was George Floyd, came up to the door, and they forced their way inside to her home. Inside of her home. Mind you, this woman is pregnant. At that point, George Floyd took out a gun and pressed it to her stomach. She was screaming, begging for her life, and he put her inside of her living room and instructed one of his criminal friends that was with him to watch her and to make sure she didn't leave the living room. So he was playing guard while they ransacked her home looking for drugs and money. They did not find drugs. They ended up taking, I believe, her wallet and her cell phone. Fortunately for her, her neighbor observed what was going on and caught the license plate of the people as they pulled off and called 911. And when 911 was able to, they were able to track down the car of which George Floyd was the driver, and they arrested him. And 2 years later, he was sentenced to 5 years in prison for that instance. Now,
cool.
You can say the media is portraying it like he was just getting his life together after, being released in 2014 following that incident. He was just getting his life together and moved and was going to start afresh. I'd like to believe all of those things, and there's a gap, and he never got in trouble for 5 years until this incident when the police were called on him again.
True. The case. Literally, the case.
You are defying common sense to believe that this person suddenly became an exemplary character but happened to be high on fentanyl and methamphetamine and trying to use...
You are denying common sense. I hate when stupid people try to make arguments. We're just watching a dumb person try to think and have an original thought just by twisting all sorts of elements of toxic status quo ideology into a somehow coherent sounding fucking argument. It's so bad.
The bill, a fake bill to purchase something. And so in my opinion,
she's arguing against a straw man. Nobody fucking gives a shit about who he was as a person, or is saying that he is an exemplary person, or whatever. Maybe conservatives just don't care if criminals die. They just don't give a shit, They just don't care. When really, at the end of the day, you're only a criminal once the state fucking tells you you're a criminal. It's not essential to anyone's being to be a criminal. It just means that you committed a fucking crime, which all a crime is something that the state says you can't do. That's it. That's all it means. It's not real. It's not a real thing.
I was a criminal. He was a criminal. And just because...
Cool. I don't give a shit.
He was a criminal doesn't mean he deserved to die at the knee of a police...
Then why the fuck are you even making the argument?
officer, but it does mean that
nobody's arguing against the thing that you're arguing against. Nobody's arguing the thing that you're arguing against. Nobody's making the counter argument to this. No one.
I'm not going to play a part of the broken black culture.
This fucking the broken black culture. Yeah, she has this like fake, like, oh, I'm gonna make my people. It's like, no, you're the fucking problem with your own people. It's people like you who betray their people and amplify racism. Fucking Auntie Tom over here.
Always wants to martyr criminals, who wants to pretend they were these upstanding human beings that just wanted to help society, that just wanted to reach out and uplift society. And he has a rap sheet that is long, that is dangerous. He was an example of a violent criminal his entire life, okay? Up until the very...
Are you a fucking idiot?
Last moment. Now, again, I want to be clear. This is not a defense for Derek Chauvin. No one that I have spoken to, no one in the news is defending Derek Chauvin. He
just back and forth. You're not being clear. You're being a fucking idiot. Like,
getting what he has coming to him. Okay, great. But why are we pretending that this criminal should be upheld as a citizen, as a martyr in Black America? A martyr for a fake narrative, by the way.
No, okay. Here we go. Let's rev up the debunk machine, guys. I'm getting in
Police
there.
Brutality, racially motivated police brutality is a myth, okay? So let's...
I can't wait for these bullshit
into
stats.
That. Not only are we using this death, right, and allowing it to cause these riots and protests, pretending this was some upstanding citizen in the Black community who was tackled down and killed for no reason, right? Not only are we allowing it to inspire riots in which Black people are dying, in which action...
Candace Owens doesn't think that victims of police brutality should be protested against or protested on their behalf. That she doesn't think that it may, and it's not even all about fucking George Floyd. We heard what it's about. These people are fucking poor. Like, honestly, dude.
Upstanding Black citizens are dying. Case in point, I'm sure you guys have all now seen
their fucking crocodile tears voice. These people act like they care about their fucking group identity. They literally don't give a shit. They care about whiteness. They care about they care about the fucking hegemonic culture and amplifying whatever the fucking status quo is. They care about fucking conservatism.
David, the sheriff that just was shot and killed because he was trying to protect a pawn shop. Please look him up if you haven't seen it. I'm blanking on his last name. His first name is David, who was shot and killed for trying to protect a pawn shop from looters. An upstanding citizen, an actual head of he was the head of a police his entire life, 77 years old, did everything.
You think that's an upstanding citizen? A fucking cop?
Right? So
did everything right. If you're a fucking bootlicker conservative, dude. Jesus, fuck. Holy shit.
Now have to kill upstanding Black citizens because a non-upstanding Black citizen, a career Black criminal, died. Now, did he just...
A career Black criminal? Someone who wasn't given any better opportunity than to be a criminal in life is now a career Black criminal to these people. It's fucking crazy, dude.
Deserve to die in that manner? No. I can't say it enough. No, he didn't deserve to die in that manner. But I will be...
I can't say it enough. Why isn't that all the fuck you're saying? If you had a moral compass, that would be all the fuck you were saying. You fucking ugly bitch, dude.
If the rest of us upstanding Black citizens have to suffer because of this incident that rarely ever happens in America. So here are some numbers.
She hasn't proved it yet.
For you people that are still believing that police brutality is a real racially motivated police brutality.
She hasn't proved it's not yet.
Real thing. First and foremost, okay, you have a 25% higher chance as a violent white criminal of dying at the hands of a police officer than you do as a Black criminal. Last year, a total of 9
Isn't that just because there's more white people in the fucking country, though?
Armed black men were killed by police officers, and 19 white men were killed by police officers. For those of you...
Wait, what?
Of dying at the hands of a police officer than you do as a black criminal. Last year, a total of 9 unarmed black men were killed by police officers, and 19 white men were killed by police officers.
19 white men. She didn't say unarmed, guys.
That aren't good at mathematics, right? You might be thinking, oh, but Candace, white people represent 60% of the population and black people represent just 13% of the population. It doesn't matter what percent.
It actually does. Believe it or not, it actually fucking does matter. 'Cause you're obviously gonna get more if there's more of that type of person in the country.
The population you represent, it matters what percentage of the violent criminal community you represent.
There's no such thing as the violent criminal community. There isn't. There's not. There's not. She's literally lying to you. She's wrong. Oh my god. Holy shit.
Is a real thing. First and foremost, okay, you have a 25% higher chance as a violent white criminal of dying at the hands of a police officer than you do as a black criminal. Last year, a total of 9 unarmed black men were killed by.
Why the fuck is she saying violent criminal? Why the fuck does she think that this is a point? She's literally comparing violent white criminals to unarmed black men. As if that... What? But I don't understand what point she's trying to make.
Police officers and 9.
Like, I just thought about it more and I was like, she's not even actually arguing for anything at all. She's not, like, making an argument. It's so, like, because her number is deeply flawed.
White men were killed by police officers. For those of you that aren't good at mathematics, right, you might be thinking, oh, but Candace, white people represent 60% of the population and black people represent just 13% of the population. It doesn't matter what percentage of the population you represent.
What?
It matters what percentage of the violent criminal community you represent. And unfortunately, black community...
There isn't one. What do you mean?
Commits a disproportionate amount of crimes compared to the white community.
You can't just connect that to a stat when you're talking about unarmed black men, though. Your argument is literally, okay, so less of those people who don't commit crimes get killed by this type of people who do commit crime, or get killed than these type of people who do commit crimes. However, the types of people who get killed less when they don't commit crimes commit more crimes. It's like, what? Huh? What is your point?
Let me tell you, 6% of the population, right? Black men, 6%.
Here it is, black men. Because the 7% would be black women, we're assuming. Just kind of like leaving NBs out of the stat. The reason for this is the fact that fucking men, and she doesn't talk about this at all, men commit more violent crimes than women. By far.
Of the population account for 40.
So you can't just say men. Like...
4% of all murders in this country.
You can't just select for the men when men commit more crimes anyway. Like,
according to 2018 statistics, that is what you call a gap.
She talks about statistics like she knows how to use them.
Higher chance as a violent white criminal of dying at the hands of a police officer than you do as a black criminal.
I hate people who like this. I hate bootlicker ass, arrogant ass people like this, dude. It's my least favorite type of fucking person in the fucking world. Holy shit.
Here, a total of 9 unarmed black men were killed by police officers and 19 white men were killed by police officers. For those of you that aren't good at mathematics, right, you might be thinking, oh, but Candace, white people represent 60% of the population and black people represent just 13%.
She opens her mouth and nothing comes out.
Population. It doesn't matter what percentage of the population you represent. It matters what percentage of the violent criminal community you represent. And unfortunately, black community commits a disproportionate amount of crimes compared to the white community. Let me tell you, 6% of the population, right?
What?
Black men, 6% of the population account for 44% of all murders in this country, according to 2018 statistics.
Yeah, they're killing other black dudes, though. Which is still black dudes dying, Candace Owens. It's still black men dying, by the way. With your beloved fucking black on black crime narrative.
That is what you call a gap. And yet white people who represent 60% of the population, we represent 13, black men are 6%, only represent 50% of all the murders, right? That makes no sense. That makes no sense. A 6-point variation in a community where we are extreme.
You're counting all the people in one, while only counting men in the other. And we've already established. Can I get statistics on that on the fly? Men commit more crime, more violent crime than women. Statistic. Bureau of Justice statistics. Criminal victimization, dude. I want commit. I want commits crime. I'm looking for stats about rates and levels of violent crime. Criminal. I don't want criminal victimization though. I want like how often the crimes, like who did the crimes. Should I like looking through the stats? Maybe Vosh has this on fucking rates of violent crime. Victimization, dude, not victimization. I don't want to look at the victims. I want to look at it through the perspective of the people who committed the crime. God. Victim and offender. Dude. This is maybe Vosh has it in the fucking Vosh research document. Oh, damn. All right. Institutional racism. Holocaust denial. Oh, it's gone. Never mind. It's not there either. Whatever. We know it.
Minorities. We commit 50% of all violent offenses, evenly split, and we're only 13% of the population. Okay? So we have a lot.
Yeah, well, you're also... Again, let's talk about the fact that crime is caused by your socioeconomic conditions, largely, and the socioeconomic conditions of the black community compared to the white community are worse.
More encounters with police officers. And don't say the police officers are coming around because we're black. I'm talking about violent criminals. I'm talking about murder. 44.
They are, though. Black communities are more heavily policed. And the justification for that, by you people, is violent crime. But, when it's not useful to the conservative narrative, it's not connected. Yeah.
Ton of murders, okay? You want to talk about real statistics? The police officers have way more to be fearful of in the black community than the other way around, okay?
Cops should be scared of black people, not the other way around. Okay, bootlicker. That's all we have to say to argue against this fucking retarded point. Oh my god.
Commit, on average, a police officer is 18 and a half times more likely to be killed by a black person than the other way around. Okay? So this entire...
Hold on, what? Hold on a second, what?
The police officers have way more to be fearful of in the black community than the other way around, okay? We commit, on average, a police officer is 18 and a half times more likely to be killed by a black person than the other way around.
What? Police officer 18 times more likely to be killed by a black person than the other way around. What is that? 247's. Oh, it's the Daily Wire. Alright, it's the Daily Wire. Alright, where's the... Blacks more likely to kill cops and be killed by cops. This is according to FBI data, which also found that 40% of cop killers are black. According to MacDonald, which doesn't mean according to a study, it just means according to a random guy. The police officer is 18.5 times more likely to be killed by a black cop, or to be killed by a black than a cop, than a cop killing an unarmed black person. How the fuck is the... Where the fuck is the data? Somebody show me the data. It's not cited. Is this the citation? It's just a stupid bitch. Dude, yeah, I don't know. I just know it's bullshit. Check Vosh's video for why that's bullshit.
Okay? So this entire narrative is complete smoke and mirrors. It's all made up. It's just election fodder. It's white versus black because it's an election year, not because black Americans are suffering at the hands of police officers more than white Americans. Do some police officers do the wrong thing? Yes. I don't think there's anybody in the world who has not encountered a police officer and thought this person is an absolute jerk who is power tripping.
ACAB.
You are black or white. We know they exist. And we know they're always going to exist, by the way, because they're human beings. And sometimes...
Nope. Don't even listen to this. Racism is not essential to humanity. It will go away once we win.
Human beings suck. In fact, if you want to attack a community for accidental slayings or brutality, did you know?
Oh, it's human nature. The fucking human nature egg, bro. They can't think outside of it. They don't... Everything is human nature to them. They don't understand.
That doctors accidentally kill 250,000 people every year because of mistakes. Do you know there's been doctors that have been arrested for being serial killers that just were killing people because they wanted to?
Okay.
Do we protest?
A serial killer is illegal. It's illegal to be that. No matter what the fuck your job is, Candace Owens.
And boycott doctors? Do we assume all doctors are horrible human beings because some doctors are?
When doctors kill people, Unions of doctors don't protect them. Other doctors don't just watch as they do it. And the profession of being a doctor does not, like, necessitate killing and force and violence in the way that the job of being a police officer with a fucking gun does. A gun and a bunch of authority, right? Fucking, like, God.
Or do we realize that society is not perfectible? People suck in every profession. It is no excuse to paint society with a broad brush. It is certain.
Society is not perfectible. Things are bad now, so don't try to make them better, baby. Like, God. Imagine being a fucking conservative.
No excuse to accept a Democrat narrative, okay, that black people are being disproportionately hunted down by police officers because of the color of their skin. You want to know the best way to avoid not being brutalized by a police officer is to limit the amount of encounters you need to have with them, especially when it comes to violent crimes, okay? I am not going to stand for this continual bottom-feeding narrative of us martyring people that have had 5, 6, 7 stints in prison and then pretending they were upstanding heroes to our community. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. Excuse my language. It's
No one's pretending that, though. He's literally a martyr. He was fucking killed.
Absolute bullshit. And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of having to play pretend. I'm tired of...
No, but you haven't played pretend at all. You're not tired of anything. This is all fucking performative outrage. Because the right are the group who do performative outrage. It's not us. It's not the left, honestly. It's liberals and right-wingers. It's just about different shit in their own little fucking weird dichotomy of the culture war or whatever. When really, like, the people who are right about their cultural analysis are us on the fucking left, because we're actually looking at it through the correct lens and viewpoint.
Here and being called a coon or an Uncle Tom because I won't play this bottom-feeding game with you. If you want to hang up posters of criminals on your wall and talk about them as your martyrs, do it. Do it. You can do it. Kobe Bryant was my idol, okay? I'll keep a photo of Kobe Bryant. You can keep one of George Floyd and pretend he was an upstanding human being that just once or twice put a gun across a pregnant woman's belly. Could you imagine that woman right now?
Nobody is saying... She doesn't understand. It's like she doesn't... Why am I acting like she actually believes any of this? She is also just a fucking grifter. She's the one good black for right-wingers. That's the whole point of her whole job. That's her job description. Is the good one. One of the good ones.
Black woman, by the way, right? Watching everybody pretend this person was an upstanding human being who just at the age of 42 and 5 prison stints was going to get his life together. I mean, it's embarrassing. We are embarrassing in that regard, right? This is why we have a cycle and a toxic culture, because nobody wants to tell the truth in Black America. It's so easy to be a victim. It's so easy to ask white people to bow down and apologize and do all these things for us. It's crap.
Nobody's asking them to bow down and apologize. They're asking for fucking justice.
Crap. It's a lie. It's a farce.
You're crap, and you're lying, and your whole fucking ideology is a fucking farce, you dumb bitch.
Our biggest problem is us, okay? It's why we don't...
Yeah, I agree. Your biggest problem is people like you.
Talk about it when black on black crime happens. It's why we don't talk about it when 40 black people are killed in one weekend during Memorial Weekend in Chicago. We don't want to talk about any of that.
You're just actively shooting the black community in the fucking leg by fucking opening your fucking stupid mouth.
We don't want to talk about Baltimore. We don't want to talk about New Jersey. We don't want to talk about any of these places where black people are being slaughtered by other blacks, because that would mean that we had to be personally accountable, right? That would mean personal responsibility.
No, it wouldn't. Nobody is saying that you have personal responsibility for a fucking collective issue. No, we don't even think this way.
We don't do personal responsibility in our community. We don't do it. We blame white people, right? We only point a camera to white people when they do something, even though we do it.
How is this not justifying George Floyd's death, though? Like, at this point, as she's saying that, how is she not saying he deserved to die?
A way higher rate to ourselves, right? We celebrate our
when she says,
white people, right? We only point a camera to white people when they do something.
We only point a camera to white people when they do something. Like, No, we don't. A whole lot of people point their guns at black people when they do nothing. A whole lot of cops do that. But, you know.
We do it at a way higher rate to ourselves, right? We celebrate our drug dealers. We're the only community, right, that would ever create hashtags to free people from prison because they committed crimes. Like free Meek Mill, free this rapper, free this rapper. How hard is it to not spend multiple times?
Maybe prison shouldn't exist. Maybe just an idea.
Prison. How difficult is that? Is that too hard for us? Is that way too high of a mountain for us to scale, to do the right thing, to be upstanding?
Also, why the fuck are you comparing people saying free Meek Mill to people saying justice for George Floyd? Are you actually a fucking moron or what?
Citizens, that is the call to action.
This is privilege, guys. This is wealth and privilege and sucking up to the fucking system. This is where it gets you. This is throwing your community under the bus for the sake of personal well-being. This is what this is like, the politics you get out of that type of condition
That I have for Black America with Brexit. Like, why do we keep fulfilling this narrative? What do you think the perception of us, by the way, is on the outside? You ever look at the comments? You ever go into like an anonymous blog and see what people say? Oh, just black people being black people. I see.
Oh, let's see. I bet those are the same people in your comment section who fucking just trying to find the racists, dude. Did fucking Dave Chappelle shout out Candace Owens? Dude, I hate Dave Chappelle. I actually hate him.
Racist comments. Oh, just black people got to riot. Black people got to be black people. You know how they are. Oh, just black people being ignorant. That is the perception when people get to be anonymous and talk about us. That's what they think about us, right? They think that we are the kind of people that will forever uphold.
It's literally the ContraPoints thing. It's literally the ContraPoints thing. You people, the bad black people, it's your fault. It's just like Blair White. This is the Blair White of the black community, guys. It's, oh, the bad trans people, it's their fault. It's the same thing. Racism is the fault of bad black people, is Candace Owens' perspective. That's her whole perspective. Which is literally just victim like that's all it is literally just victim blaming. Like that's it. That's all you got. Your entire perspective is just, it's the victim's fault. God.
Criminals as the martyrs of our society, that we will never take account for the things that we do wrong, right? That we don't have it within us to educate ourselves to get ahead. And that for those of us that actually do it, well, we get called coons, right? You got Condoleezza Rice, she's a coon. Larry Elder, he's a coon. Dr. Ben Carson, brain surgeon, first ever to perform the surgery of splitting twins that are connected by the head. He's a
Candace Owens gets off on calling other black people racial slurs, by the way.
Coon, right? What a loser he is. What a stupid guy he is. Kanye West says he's not going to be told to do it because of the color of his skin. He's a coon. He's lost. He's in the sunken place. The sunken place. That's where we all are, right?
Yeah, it is, actually. She looks like an alien, bro. Why do people say she's hot? I don't get it.
Because we demand more and we will get more out of this society because we're going to get ahead, right? That's what's going to happen. We're going to get ahead. Black conservatives get ahead because we don't subscribe to this narrative. Because you're not going to
No, black conservatives get ahead because you sell out your community in favor of the status quo. That's why you get ahead. You get ahead because you shit on yourself. And you rub your shit all over yourself. And get money for it. That's why. That's why you get ahead. All conservatives, especially of marginalized communities, have that advantage in getting ahead. You all do that. It's a shtick. One might say it's a grift. Perhaps. Might just be a fucking grift, maybe. Oh.
catch me outside trying to grab a TV pretending that it's because a martyr named George Floyd got killed. Okay? I'm a big believer that no matter what color you are, you do.
You know, maybe it's just because your life is shit that you're doing that. In which case I would fucking understand it, because I'm not a fucking cold-hearted asshole idiot who thinks that, oh, criminals are after me. Like you fucking dumbass.
Stupid things, you win stupid prizes.
Oh my
okay?
god. You are an idiot.
We have to do better. We have to teach our kids better. Or we're not going to.
We have to teach our kids better.
Anyways, this is just a rant because I have been feeling...
Teach your kids to not be like this stupid bitch, please.
Super annoyed at these depictions in society. I have no apologies here to make. George Floyd is not my martyr. He can be yours. That's all I have to say to Black America.
Okay, you're basically white. Bye. Fuck. That's all I have to say to Black America. Thanks for your bullshit contribution to the discourse, you fucking dishonest fucking piece of shit, dude. Total bad faith.
I think that Trump is right.
Shut
I think
up,
that
Destiny.
all political...
Shut up, Destiny. Shut up, Destiny. I don't have time for your bullshit today. God.